In this video, I'm going to show you step by step how you can build and deploy an AI SaaS company that you can then use and actually create thousands of dollars in subscription income. I'm going to show you how you do everything step by step. In terms of my background, I built a tech company before, a SaaS product. We've done multiple six figures. I did a seven-figure deal, in fact, and also had over 80,000 customers. But what I want to do with this one is try and help you go from zero to hero and keep it as simple as possible. And I'll show you exactly how you build this entire thing step by step. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can deploy loads, multiple in fact, bespoke AI applications, any ideas that you've got. Like this one, for example, is a body fat percentage tracker. And we could have all these different bespoke AI applications on different pages of our website, all behind a subscription income that we get from customers. Now, the way that I like to kind of think about it is that I'll show you how you could build these individual AI applications on either multiple different pages or build one in a lot of depth. I'll show you how we're going to design it to get signups. I'll show you the backend and the database that we're going to be using, as well as how we're actually going to use this to generate and get subscription income and create those products. My name's Jack. My YouTube channel and my school community are all about three things. We're about the latest AI. We're about incredible automations, but most importantly, we are about the stuff that actually works. So if you haven't already, grab that coffee and let's dive straight in. And before we get started, I just want to call out somebody in my community who's an absolute superstar, Noel. I'll share this video down below where he shares his tech stack and how he developed his. He's done something slightly different. I think that could be of value to you, so I'll put a link down below. It's really worth checking out and kind of help me inspire actually how I laid this out to make it as visually interesting as possible. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to start a big picture because I'm not a coder by trade. I don't code. So I want to give you the kind of framework to understand what we're doing. And then once I've given you the framework, what we're going to do is there's AI Jack Superman with his AI SaaS sign. We're just going to work through it step by step. So at the end of it, you'll have everything you need to build your own bespoke application, and the opportunities for this are simply ridiculous. So what are we using and why? So what this is missing is the marketing bit at the front end, but we can touch on that later. And we've got some interesting resources and stuff like that in the community for how you scale an AI business from not knowing anything to making some good income. So software side, we're going to use two pieces of software. One of them is this thing here called the Softr Studio. Not Softr, essentially, think of it like it's like a drag and drop database that enables customers to sign up. It enables us to integrate with things like Airtable, which is like an Excel spreadsheet. It enables us to integrate with databases and Stripe and lots of other pieces of software. Think of it as like the structure of the house, the building blocks for our house. This is what's basically where the customer's going to come, they're going to sign up, and we can deploy within Softr multiple different AI either services or different pages, or we could have one product. We can build as many pages as we like. It isn't as configurable as an incredible website you could build in like Card or WordPress, but it is incredible for the backbones and managing the customers and getting in there. So we're going to do the front end with that, with Softr. What I'm going to do throw on top of that is another layer, which is Card. So Card is this incredibly accessible website build. It's drag and drop. It's like $10 or $12 for the year or something extortionately simple and really cheap like that. Maybe $50 actually. Yeah, it's like $50 a year. But the point is you can use this as our front end, something jazzy, something stylish, more configurations. We can use that as a front end, get them in, and then they can come and join our Softr application to get it nailed. Not necessary, but I'll just show it you so you've got those tools in your toolkit if you would like to use them. And then for automation, this is where the magic happens in make.com, which is our no-code automation platform. So for example, we're going to be using webhooks. We're going to be integrating with Airtable. This is going to be a really interesting module. And I'm going to show you two different ones that we've got here. For example, the example I'm going to show you is a physique analysis. So for the purposes of this video, we're going to build a AI image vision kind of software that essentially what will happen is you will give it, let's say, a photo of your physique, okay? And what the AI will do is analyze that physique and then tell you what it perceives to be your body fat percentage. And we're going to give the users a dashboard here. These are just sample images, by the way, that I threw in there. And we can track then your body fat percentage as you go through. So think of this as like an AI PT. And on top of that, what we can also do is enter our email and get different data and get that kind of dynamic graph of how we're tracking. And we can also upload our images, how we're feeling this week, and then get a unique dashboard based on our progress photos. So clients can actually see everything they've uploaded. This is just an example, but you could use this for interior design. Essentially, guys, we can give to the user a bespoke, basically a kind of repertoire of all the stuff we've uploaded and give them unique AI applications based on what they want, which I think is pretty epic, and hopefully you can see like the number of possibilities with that. Technology wise, we're going to use ChatGPT, so that's going to be the kind of brain of our operations. We can make that as complex or as simple as we like. The reality is most people will think it's a lot more complex than it actually is, but this is going to be our brains. We could train out loads of data. We could do, literally unlimited number of things. If you've been around the channel, you'll have a good idea of the stuff we can do. For storage, we need a database, which is going to be Airtable. Not Airtable, obviously, as I always say, Google Sheets on steroids. If you're not familiar with it, it's like Excel, but a million times better. We can upload images to it. This is basically where we're going to keep track of all the customers that we have and all of the conversations they have with us throughout the course of their hopefully long and wonderfully enjoyable subscription with this AI PT business that we're developing. And finally, guys, Stripe. It's like one of the biggest payment processors. It's pretty straightforward and pretty ace. Now, let's go through this step by step, and I've tried to lay it out in a way that is simple. Now, you can get really complicated with this, but I think I'd rather get you started, get you up and running, and then we can add further complexity onto it. Now, I won't spend too much time on the sexy front end. There's many options for this, but when you're thinking about the front page of your website, because ultimately all of this is in service of getting you more income or improving your business, there's typically 4 key things that you want to do with a website. The first one is explain what it is. Explain what it is in simple terms so people can actually get what it's about. We want to, if we can, have social proof. So here's Billy Boo, the same situation as you. They've smashed it. Now it's all going well. Explain how it works and make an offer so good that they would feel stupid saying no, that they will really want to click. We'll leverage urgency and scarcity to do that. So if you head over to Card with 2 R's, this is just like a template that I chose. You can literally go through, find the ones that you want. There's so many great examples of websites that are crushing it. This step is optional. It just depends if you want something more configurable, you want to try different things out. It's completely your call. So you go over to card.co, I'll put a description, all the links in the description down below, so you can select it and nail it. Pick one that you like, you open it up, and then it's super, super easy to configure. You can change the text, you can change loads of different aspects of the website. So this one's optional. You can go straight to Softr if you want to, but this is just if you want more configurability, it's there and it's ready to go. So cool. We'll say that, card, tick, complete. We love it. Now, we're going to start off with the database and Airtable for this. So how do we do that? Let's get over to Airtable and build out this beautiful database. We'll come down to the bottom left, we're going to hit create, and we're going to start from scratch. So we'll call this one the AI PT, which, by the way, I actually, I made this because I think what would be a really cool and interesting business. And I wanted to do something that really lent on vision, because I think vision is really underutilized as a business idea. I've also pulled together a list of like 50 different ideas you could do if you're thinking of SaaSes. I'll put a link down below in the description so you can grab that if you're thinking of different ideas. So we've got the AI PT. Now the question is, what fields do we need for this? So I've got the one I made earlier. So we're going to have 2 tabs. The first one is going to be called customers. Okay, now this is going to be when we get a new client, a new sign up, of which I'm sure there'll be many for your fledgling wonderful business. They'll all get added into this section, which is excellent. So let's see what fields we're going to want. We want the name, the email, and a unique ID. Okay, awesome. So we've got name, wonderful. We'll put a little wave there. We'll come on here, we're going to go for email. And then we want to create unique ID. So we'll put unique ID here. For this, we're going to come to user. We're going to type in formula. And then we're just going to type in record ID, and this will create like a random ID for us. So we'll have a unique identifier for every customer to create. And now you have that, you can use it in multiple parts of the scenario. Again, millions of ways that you could do this. And then we want to get membership. So call this one membership, like so. We'll call this one paying subscriber, like so. And should we do a little cash emoji for good thing? And then we'll have free if they're not paying their membership fees, which I'm sure they will do for your beautiful business. And then we're just going to add 2 more fields. One is going to be date, created time. Awesome. And then finally, just add last modified time, like so. Cool, awesome. So this is going to be table 1. And then next one we're going to add then is up here, start from scratch. The second one we're going to call is client history, like so. Let's come back over. Beautiful. And obviously, guys, you can configure these for things that you want, that you'll need with your particular thing, but there's some that will be universally helpful across every single one. So we've got email, the question, and physique image. So for instance, okay, I've set this up in the way that, look, I want them to submit an image. So what I've said here is I've got the question. This could be, for example, if let's say you want your client to be able to, in your dashboard, say, hey, Jack, How do I do ABC? Or like, could you do this? So think about what you want the user input to be. For me, it's about, because it's an AIPT, it's like, how has your week been? And then also show me a physique update. So for example, from that, we could then use that to inform a greater like AI strategy for that individual. So I've just called this question and physique image. So we'll put question down here with a question here. But again, this will be just different based on whatever your particular SaaS idea is. And then we'll just say physique image, and then let's just put maybe like a strong, I don't know, like a nice strong thing there. Cool. And then we want this one to be attachments, so then we can actually see the image within the Airtable, and also it just makes it easier when linking back up. And then we've got AI advice, body fat percentage, and then the day. Cool. All right, so let's go for AI advice. This is going to be what our beautiful automation says. Cool. And then we're going to add another one in there. This one's going to be body fat percentage. Again, guys, this is just one random idea. Obviously, you can kind of like do this in a million different ways. Awesome, long text, that's fine. And our last column is going to be created time, like so. Beautiful. And you have officially created your very first database as part of this automation. Insane. So we can head back over to our beautiful list now. We built the database, incredible. Now the next thing we want to do is head over to Softr. Okay, let's head over there now. And so we arrive on Softr. Cool. So let's start off with, you'll create a page for free. I'm just going to log in because I've got a few different apps here. So let's create a new app and we'll start from scratch. So come over here and let's pick the ones that we need. So let's get rid of these. Yes, want user profile, sign in, sign up, reset and forgot password will be important. And then the home page, that's cool. And then click on create application. Also, by the way, guys, if I sound a bit funny, so the dentist this morning, so like half my face was numb. I was like drinking and water was falling out one side. So I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. So let me just help you with the UI of this and what this looks like. Okay, so it looks a bit complicated. It's actually really straightforward when you spend 5 minutes with it. So on the left, we have pages. This is every page in your application. To add a new page, it's as simple as clicking this add new page button like so, giving it a name like boom, URL is boom, and all of a sudden, guys, boom is now there. And that's how you build pages, really, really straightforward. And you can delete it like that, that's straightforward. We've got the theme, so we can set things that we want. Now, we're not savages, so we're not gonna be using Inter, we're gonna be using Montserrat, and dude, immediately this website just got twice as successful. Going on to body, let's also go for Montserrat. Just little things like, little things like font make a huge difference. Accent, I quite like, I think pink is quite in for this at the moment, so let's just go for a nice, beautiful, shiny pink, or we could do yellow. Actually, we'll do pink. Pink's perfect. All right, sweet. So we find a nice, beautiful pink. That's fine. Come off that, that's ace. You can pick the size, the roundness. You can basically decide all these little bits and pieces, and then we click save like that. How cool is that? And you can follow this little guide on the right-hand side if you want to. I might be obscuring it with my rainbow road image, but you kind of get the idea. Users is how we create user groups, and we're going to sync it with a data source in a second, so you can check out what that looks like. And then we've got settings at the bottom where we can check in loads of different things like integrations and add lots of bits and pieces. Now, what we're going to do is basically sync this with our data source. So what this will do, now you see that database that you just created in Airtable, right? Let me come back over and show you. Where are we? The AIPT. Let me pin this other one here. Now, let's create a couple of random people. Okay, let's go for Jason Bourne. Okay, we love a good Jason Bourne. We'll call him gb@outlook.com. Next one we'll call Matt Flowers. Who are these people? I have no idea. Matt Flowers outlook.com. Do you know what's really exciting about this automation, guys, is the AI application side of it? Like, because it gives you the structure, right? So call this one Sarah Ann, oh my goodness, Sarah Ann. Okay, we go. And I'll call this one Sarah Ann. And this one can be from Gmail, just for some diversity and some interesting aspects. Cool, so we've got these different emails here. So what we're gonna do is sync it with our application. So whenever somebody creates now an account on our new and beautiful website, so I'm gonna publish this even though we're not even ready yet, I'm publishing it. I'm just gonna jump, there you go, confetti. You know I love my confetti. I love my confetti. Open a new tab, now check this out, guys. Welcome to sign up. Now, whenever somebody comes on here, and look how clean this is, guys, you'd have to pay developers for this sort of stuff, but it's available for free. Like, you've just replaced full stack, back-end, front-end developers, designers, prompt engineers, everything. It's insane how valuable this is. So whenever somebody completes this form at the front, what that will do is then send the information over to our wonderful and beautiful database right there. That's what the sync option does. That's how it connects. Think of Softr and Airtable connecting together. This is basically how they link up together. This is going to fire over to our beautiful Airtable. Now, I just want to make this point because some of you will know this, but I just want to give you the conceptual framework of how this works. So look, sync with data source. We pick our source, Airtable for Jack Roberts. Come down. What did we call this one? We call this one the AI PT, right? Beautiful. We love that. And then it should let us choose the one that we want. It's going to be customers, or the tab that you put your people in there. And look at this, guys. Map user fields. Look, map email, perfect. Name, awesome. And then there's other options of things that you can do and blah, blah, blah. It's all really cool. And then we click save and sync. Okay, so let's just test that this has worked. So publish the changes. Let's go and preview it. So let's say we want to sign up. Now don't worry about the logic of the look of it just yet. If I say, hey, it's bingbing77@outlook.com. Password is random, bing bong. I agree to the terms and conditions and I sign up, okay? Now, if this has worked successfully, we should see this record in Airtable. So let's see what's happened. We don't need to save these fake details. Let's go over to the AIPT. And guys, almost by magic, Bing Bong 77 has appeared in our database, which is awesome and cool. So you've now connected together your database and your kind of like application, which I think is really cool and pretty sick actually. So we've done that, we've designed it. Now, what we want to do realistically is there's bits of work that we need to do on the homepage. There's bits of logic we need to set up. But what I want to start with is the creation of our new page. So, and it come down to add new page. Now, for the purposes of this, the way I want this to work is, this is the AIPT. So the AIPT has got several little AI applications, which when you're paying a subscription, you get access to. So we're going to call this one Bodyfat, and we'll call this one Burn, just because it's a burn emoji like so, and then we click save. So this is our new Bodyfat page, okay? So what we want to do is just add a little bit of color to it to make it simple. So on the right-hand side, we've got all these different blocks. So they all do various different things. So payment, for example, if you want to enable to pay on this page, but we'll do that on a different page. So I want you to click on static. Okay, we can look at hero, and we've got all of these different options here of things that we want. These ones are more suited for a kind of, they're kind of more suited for a homepage, if I'm honest with you. Realistically, the one that I want us to use is this feature with product. I think, where is it actually? It is this one here, feature with vertical tab. So we add that in. And look at this beautiful automation, guys. It syncs across nicely. So let's just alter some of the text a little bit. Just say, hey, your AI, just say, track your body fat the smart way. Awesome. And then just says, hey, upload your photos and get real-time analysis. Awesome. Okay. Beautiful. And obviously, guys, what we can do is customize these bits on the side. We can customize the images, the image URLs, all this sort of stuff is very configurable. What I would also say is on the style section, you can change padding and all this beautiful stuff and just make it as interesting as you want to. And then think of these, the way that Softr works is in these blocks. So you'll pick a block, and crucially what you can do is set the visibility of that block. So you can say, I only want this to be visible for people who are logged in, or visible for people that are not logged in. So say, for example, I'm not signed up yet. Does it make sense that I can check all the details of Bodyfat? It probably doesn't, right? So we can say, no, I only want this to be viewable by logged in users. You can also create user groups. So when someone signs up and they've got a subscription, I can then also have here, and I will show you to do this in video. So it says, look, only show this to people that are paying. So we can actually lock off certain parts of our website for paying users. Now, I'm hoping this makes sense. So don't worry if you've still got questions. I'm more than likely going to get to them. So, you're doing a great job at this stage. So don't worry about it. Well, the first thing that I want us to do here, okay, is to enable the user to see some information about the photos that they've uploaded previously. Now, I'll do that when we build the automation, but what I want to show you initially is going to be the AI application itself and how you can design these incredible AI applications. If you haven't seen my video on that, by the way, please go and check that out, because if you haven't, it will be so valuable for you to see how that works. Okay, so what do? Let's say we add a new block, and what you're going to search for, guys, is code, like so. I'm going to do a custom code block. Dun, dun, dun. What is the custom code block? Well, I'm going to show you how you build these, and I'm going to show you the one that I built earlier. So we're going to head over to Claude. But before we do that, let's tick off our progress, set theme, create a page, and we've only got a couple more, 3 more steps, and you're basically rock and rolling. So Claude, let's go over there and build an example. So you would give Claude a prompt like this, like, hey, build me an app in HTML that does the following. Okay. First thing I'd say is send information to this webhook. Now, what I want you to do at this stage is open a make scenario. And by the way, guys, if you want the full blueprint, so that all you ever have to do is come down, click more, click import to blueprint. You basically select the file, click save, and the entire automation populates for you straight away. Everything's available down below in School Community, so you can plug and play. We're also going to build it together step by step, so you know how to do that. But if you want to save time and get all the other resources and benefits, it's there for you. So what I want to do for the first one, guys, is called this Bodyfat percentage, okay? So let's just use a fire emoji so we don't get confused with it. And then scenario 1, let's call this one 1 out of 2 like this, okay? What I need you to do when you're building a web app is, essentially what we're saying is, look, we've got the web page, which I'll show my old design for just to illustrate this. Okay, now for this to work, what's gonna happen is we have our website, okay, on Softr. Now it's basically gonna link up to our make scenario, like so, okay? And make is gonna reach over and grab information from our database in Airtable. And then once it finds that data, it's going to bring it straight back and display it for us in a beautiful, design like this. And we're only going to get the data that's relevant for that particular user. How cool is that? So you could have like 1,000 records, but I only want it for like Tom Jefferson or whatever his name is. And this will pull back his specific results. So we know on day 1, he was 22.5%, but by day 8, he was 21.33%. So Tom gets to basically view his own unique body fat percentages. All that to say, to simplify it, we've got an application that can reach over to the database, grab the data for the user, and bring it back. Now, what it does is only limited by your imagination. So to do this though, we've got this scenario. Now what we need to do is kick off with a webhook, okay? So come down here, we're gonna go for webhook, like so. And I just wanna show you briefly how these applications work, and then you can kind of get the idea of it, okay? So the custom webhook, we'll call this one, we'll add this one, we'll call this one, let's go for beef body fat percentage, and we'll call this one 1 out of 2 with build together in capital letters in the background. And guys, where are we without our fire emoji? I don't think we're anywhere without our fire emoji. We click save, and now we've been given this webhook, okay? All you do is copy it, all right? Let's go back to Claude, and just basically, this is how you're gonna build your web app. You're gonna say, look, send information to this webhook, and just say, I want you to, let's say, create a field that it captures name, email, and feelings. I don't know, Montserrat, confetti on submission, make the design amazing. And what we can also do, guys, if you want to, is we can give it like random images. So just say like, I don't know, nice dashboard design. I mean, I'm freeballing here, guys. I'm like the rapping version of freeballing over here. So let's just say nice dashboard design. Let's say we like the look of that, for example. We come over, let's just screenshot that like so. I mean, this is literally why it's so cool, because it's not even just simple functions. It's like whatever you want, however you want it. So I copy that. I come back over to Claude. I'll say follow. Actually, let's just say this, right? Base it off the below design, right? And then hit enter. That will let Claude, we hit enter, and then Claude will basically develop for us a bespoke web application code without using any specific code, which is awesome. So Claude is generating. One little tidbit I will say is if Claude is misbehaving, which it has been doing very recently, just use ChatGPT. Like, it's absolutely fine. Sometimes Claude gets a little bit precious about its code. So look, share your feelings, name, email, design. Now, I don't like the look of that. Just say, hey, the design is a bit lame. Please incorporate more, I don't know, fancy elements like the shown photo. I don't know, I've misspelled a million things in this, but this is just, I'm favoring speed over accuracy here. Add complexity and depth. Beautiful. Okay, I mean, this is just to show you, but even I get pulled back by the design way too much. I have to pull myself back a little bit, or I'll spend ages doing this. I did not, my last video on LinkedIn, I spent like an hour getting like the gradients right and making sure it was specific where it needed to be. So I put a high emphasis on that. I also think you're looking at your SaaS, design and positioning matter. They really do. Most businesses, most websites, their design's not great. Like, their user journey's not great. if you just hit the basics, do the ABCs, and make it look good, they'll just infer all these other incredibly positive qualities about your brand. So I'd say it's worth doing that. Oh my gosh, the DeFi lab. This has gone way out of control. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy the other one because this is kind of irrelevant. We're off on a tangent if we were to keep on having that conversation. So you copy the code, come back over then to our beautiful website that we're developing. We've got a custom code. You pop it in the right-hand side like that. Okay, now this is misbehaving a little bit, but I just want to show you that's basically how it works. So for the purposes of speed, I'll come back over here to our previous one like so. I'm going to copy all this code. I'm going to come back over to our website here. In that instance, by the way, if the code was misbehaving and it wasn't visible, just go back over to Claude and say, hey, it's changing the design of the page or it isn't working, and Claude will then change the code. You can also say, place it in a container, use that language if you find that it's interfering with the website, but oftentimes it's fine, and Bodyfat tracker is fine. What we now want to do is change the webhook that this is using. So let's go back over to our initial design. Let's copy the address to a clipboard. Come back over now to this. I'm going to Control F, type in EU2. Let's have a look. Here we go. And let's copy all this thing here and delete and paste this one in. And I think that's good. And just make sure there's no other reference to that. And there is not. Cool. Sweet. And then publish, which is fine, like so. Now let's preview the page. Opens up into a new tab. We come down. We've got body fat percentage tracker, which is absolutely fine. So what do we do? Now this isn't going to show anything, but we will see if it's successful. This will say determine structure. So all we're testing right now is that the information is being sent by the webhook. So let's go to this part of the page. Type an email. Let's just call it jasonbourne@outlook.com. Show me the magic. And do we have that that's come through? Hold on a sec. Run once, come back. Oh my goodness. Let's refresh the page. Jason Bourne. Awesome. And would you believe it, guys? Jason Bourne's come through. So think about that. Any data you want is going to go from here straight back over there. So what you've done is you've got an application that will take the data and string it straight back over. And when we build this automation out, what you'll find is that we can send data back once we access our database. So you have a webhook, right? Webhook response, and then in between these two things is Airtable. So webhook comes in, requests data, we grab it from Airtable, and then we send it straight back over so the user can actually observe it and use it. Guys, I'll also put the code down for this body fat percentage tracker for you if you want to, just so that you can use this as a basis with your conversation with Claude, just to help you get there a little bit faster. So I'll put that down below in the description for you as well. Now, let's have a look at this. So we built our AI web app, which we've just done. We've added it into Softr. So basically we've now got Softr, we've got AI web app. We've not done all the finalities with the design and pages and stuff, but we want to do the automation bit, and then we'll kind of dot our I's and cross our T's. Now, we need to design essentially two things in Make: a computer vision dashboard and an AI graph application. So what am I talking about with that? So scenario 2, okay, is just how we, in our scenario, grab the information and bring it back. And then scenario 1 is basically just this function. So if I show you in this one, this is scenario 1, how we can have this form at the bottom, give an email, give an image, and some feelings, and upload something, and then come back and present here. That's scenario 1. And scenario 2 is going to be our cool, funny web app application. Awesome. So let's actually begin with the Make scenario. So we're going to come over here. This one is our body fat percentage. So we're going to start off with this other scenario. Okay, cool. So this one we're going to call computer vision. Okay, I'll call this one 2 out of 2 with a beautiful fire emoji. Now, if I come back over to our design, this is awesome. What we need to do really is have a way for the user to submit information. Wouldn't you agree? So let's just add a block. And what I want you to do on the right-hand side is come down to form, like so. And we're gonna click on conditional form. Now, conditional form will let you add conditional logic, which is handy. I kind of just prefer the design of it. So if I come down here, for example, let's just customize this slightly. So it's come down to settings. What do we want? Let's have a look. We want the questions. So let's have a look. Where would you like to send the response? We want to send the response to Make. Awesome. And that is asking for a webhook URL. Okay, cool. So let's make the webhook URL. Come to webhook, go down to custom webhook here, and we'll call this one here. We'll call this one the body fat percentage and image gen. I don't know why that is like the most randomly long and non-relevant thing ever, but it doesn't really matter what we call it. We give it a name, okay? And then we're gonna copy the address to the clipboard, and then we come back over to our design. So essentially what that's saying, guys, is look, you've asked for a form. I'm gonna give you a form. Where do you want me to send the information to? And what we're saying to this is, hey, we're sending it over to Make. So think of this conceptually, guys, as the users on this, they're on the software part, okay? They're here, right? We are then sending it to Make to do some cool fancy automation, to kind of design the AI, the fancy bit, and sending it over to Airtable as where we're going to store it, right? This is where they interact. This is where the magic happens via Make, the automator, and the tag, and this is where it sits and lives in the storage space. So that's how they all collab together in this instance, okay? So look, we've got that. We're going to copy the clipboard address. We come back over now. And we've told that, look, I want you to put it over here in this place. All right, cool. So we've done that. That is awesome. And now we've done that, we can start messing around with the questions. So come into the questions. What's the heading? And we'll just say, hey, submit your photo with a little bit of a up emoji. Hopefully that doesn't reflect the weight. That reflects more the progress. And then we've got text. So we can say, hey, get your AI feedback. And again, I've just chosen like PT, but this could be anything about like design or like anything you can perceive it. Now, most people do text-based stuff, but I wanted to do vision because vision's so dope. Awesome. And then we've got the actual sections down here. So we've got the section divider. Let's just delete that and get rid of that. Let's have a look what we've got. Your city, what do we want? Full name, that's absolutely fine. So let's just open up section 1 so we can see. Yep, text, get your AI feedback. That's cool. All right, section 2. So what do we want? Well, I guess we want sort of more like your feelings, and then we'll give that a kind of like some eyes. This week was ... And then crucially, guys, add field, and I want you to do attachment. Oh, it should be image. Let's have a look. How's it actually showing up there? It is file. Okay, cool. File. And then call this one your physique with a strong arm emoji. Awesome. And then we've got this map to here, so that's what that's going to map to. So we're just going to say client image. When it says map to, because basically that will be the header, so it'll say client image and then this. So call the map to what you want it to be, okay? So map to here, for example, is client feedback or client question. So if I said like, I want you to show this client question, blah, 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 it just makes it easier on the other side like that, okay? And then we're gonna click on publish updates like so. And let's go and review the page by clicking over here to open a new tab. So let's go to our automation. Let's unlink these. Let's delete this guy. Okay, cool. Now it is actually this automation that we need. Okay, cool. Our computer vision one. Awesome, right. So we're gonna run this guy once. That's fine. Click OK. We determine data structure. So we go into the page, load your Bodyfat the smart way. Things are loading nice and right. And we've got submit your photo. Cool, so let's do that, right? Let's go for Jack. My feelings, my week was great. And then we get to upload an image. So I'm gonna upload a random image of Arnie. Okay, cool. Arnie has officially been uploaded. And then we click submit. Cool, and we get a nice success image, a success notification. Then we come back over to our thing. We've got successfully determined, so let's do okay. Let's run this one more time. Come back over, and let's do the same thing again. Jack, my week was great, and another image, incredible. And we submit this one, and we come back over now to it. And as you can see, guys, client question, my week was great. Client image, page and section. Ignore the page and section, that's not really relevant. And it hasn't included the email address, so let's just make sure that we're saying that one over. So instead of name, I'm just gonna replace that with the email address. Let's come down, where is that name? Cool, just say map to email, and then your email address with a cool little email emoji for good measure. Awesome, cool. Publish this one here, publish updates. Come over to our preview page, let's refresh the page, and here you can see your app has been updated. Refresh to see what changes. So we hit that one there, for example. Incredible. And we scroll down. Now let's do this one. So we'll call this one jack@outlook.com. My feelings, same as last time. My week was great, and then upload the physique. Awesome. Now you'll see this scenario is waiting like so. So we'll run this one. Obviously for you, it's going to be running automatically, and then we'll click on submit. Awesome, we come back over, and as you can see, guys, there's my email, there's my client question, and there's my client image. So basically, if I load this into a dashboard, I should see Arnie, and there we go. That is pretty amazing, because what we've done is we've enabled the user of our services, our SaaS, to upload images, to upload files, to upload text, to upload basically whatever you want, and we get it into Make. And remember, guys, once we get it into Make, we can do absolutely anything that we want. So guys, the first thing we want to do is come here and click the plus button and search for HTTP, which will basically enable us to get the file that we just grabbed in the webhook. So look, if I click on URL, I should be able to select the image. Awesome, client image. Insane, decent. And then we click, okay, brilliant. Now the next thing I want to do is, now I've got the image in our scenario. You can get as complicated or as simple as you want to. You could get custom GPTs that have been trained and got loads of data about images. We could make this 50 steps. You could make it sophisticated. This is going to be the brains of your SaaS. This is going to be the bit that is going to distinguish you from using ChatGPT. The question I want you to ask yourself is, what can this do that ChatGPT can't do? And you could build it in a modular way, which means that it goes through 15 filters. Each of them ask a certain question. Then we consolidate the information, feed it back to the client. That's unique. That seems incredible. That seems like something outrageous. So come here, type in vision. I'm going to keep it simple for this one, just so that you, just so this video isn't 17 hours. Maybe you want the 17 hours. If I get 17 coffees though, I'll tell you that. Analyzes image vision. Awesome. So what's the prompt that we're going to need? We're going to need the prompt, and I want you to give it this prompt here that I've just put in. So look, how would you estimate this person's body fat percentage? You must provide an output like this. Body fat percentage, X%, commentary, ABC. Just amended that there. You cannot provide a range, you must provide a number, you must output in JSON with no additional characters. For example, this. There's the thing, there's a JSON example, blah, blah, blah. Do not add the word JSON, any apostrophes and quotation marks with your answers. Yeah, it can only begin with this and end with this. If you're trying to control a language model to do something and you're finding it's adding additional characters, sometimes a really simple fix is to specify what the beginning of everything must be and the end of everything must be. Now, ordinarily with ChatGPT, we would specify that its output must be in JSON. Unfortunately, in the vision analysis module, it doesn't seem that we can actually specify JSON, which is why I've given it this additional prompt. But with others, like just pure text, that's something that we can look at doing. Now, what do? We're then going to give it the image, so come down to add image URL. Now, let's come here and give it the image URL right here, like so, the client image. And then we're going to select the model, which is going to be GPT-4o, max tokens 300, that's okay. And then we click OK, and then let's just rename this one Vision. And what kind of vision would it be if it didn't have some cool, beautiful, googly eyes? Now, what I want to do is Command S to save this video, to save this automation. I'm going to click run once. I'm going to come back over now to our thing. I'm going to give it the same thing. So jack@outlook.com, my week was great. Then we click submit. That's all done, dusted, and complete. Oh my goodness, it's still loading. Come back over to our scenario, webhooks, HTTP, and then we've got vision. And let's see what it says. Body fat percentage, 5%. This person in the image has extremely defined muscle groups, very little visible body fat, typical of a professional bodybuilder at peak competition level. Awesome. So it's given us an analysis on our image. So the next thing I want to do is to parse out that JSON. Now the reason I want to parse these two things out, and the reason why I've asked for it in JSON, is because in our Airtable, I've got client history here, where their email's going to go, their question's going to go, their physique image is going to go, what the AI said, and their body fat percentage. I need to separate out the body fat percentage and the AI advice. So it's in two different columns so that I can show it as two different things in the application itself. Now you can do that with multiple AIs, but this is just a cool little hack. And if you've not used this before and Make, it'll be something that you might find of value. So what I want you to do is come here, for example, type in JSON parser like that, JSON parser. The JSON string is just simply the result from the last module, like so, and click on data structure, click on generate, and it asks for some sample data. So for that, we're just going to come over here, we're going to copy the results, we're going to come over to JSON, sample data, paste that in there, generate, and then it will basically generate what it thinks it should be, which is pretty cool if you ask me. Then we click save, and then we click OK. So let's run this again one more time. So run the scenario once, run anyway, come back over. Let's answer the same information one more time. My week was great, image. Then we submit this. We come back over to the scenario. Vision's doing its job, and then JSON will do the beautiful parsing job. And if you look at that, what have we got? Body fat percentage and commentary. Incredible. Now, finally, guys, what we want to do is come to add an Airtable module like so. Click on create a record. Now, all the records that this creates is going into our second tab. Now, we've got two tabs, right? Customers, somebody signs up, they're in the customers tab. Client history, this is where they interact with us. Now, if you built, let's say, several pages that do several different AI things, this client history could be body fat history. Then in a new tab, we could call that one, I don't know, fashion analysis, and so on and so on and so forth. So you have records, and then we can specify in Softr which of those tabs we want to pull back for the analysis. So look, let's pick the base. The base was, what did we call this one? The AI PT, okay? The AI PT, incredible. And then we're going to pick the second one when it prompts us to do so. So table, come down, we're going to go for client history. Let that load up, have a rock and roll and good time. And then we get to map over everything. Now, the reason why I'm grabbing their email is so I can identify who it is and show it back to them in the actual dashboard itself. So click on email. Now for that, we come down to email at the bottom. We've got the question, which is client question. We've got the physique image, add item, click file URL. And for that, we can use the client image right there. Now, the reason why I downloaded it, guys, is that some applications that you use will want the image to be downloaded if you want to do various things, just so you know how to actually physically use that. And then we've got the AI advice. So that is going to be commentary from the JSON parser. As you can see, but now exists as two separate things rather than one result. And then body fat percentage here, like so. And then we're going to click on OK. Now, the final test is repeat it one more time. So run this again, come back over, do the exact same thing one final time. And if it feels like we're testing it a lot, that's okay. Just means that it works. And then we do submit once we've got the image. We come back over, wait for it to land in a webhook, and then our magic computer vision technology thing will begin. This is the girliest water bottle I've ever bought, honestly. It's like I lost my other one, so like I'm gonna parade around with a purple one now. So we come over now and we should see if this has worked successfully in our client history, the information, but has it appeared? Oh my goodness, it doesn't even seem to be there. So let's just refresh it. And there we go. For a second, did you doubt? Hopefully you didn't doubt. Now look, what's really cool about that, I can click on the image and there's on it, awesome. And this is basically our repository for everything that we want, which I think is so cool. Now, what's gonna happen? Okay, so now we've actually developed the quote unquote technology of the brains of the operation. What I wanna show you now is how we then display that to the client in the dashboard. Now, once you pick up these skills I'm showing you, they're configured, it's like Lego blocks, okay? You learn it and then you'll be able to add your own little things. And I want you to see this video as really my attempt to kind of give you the structure. You build on the shoulders of it. I show you some building blocks, some things I think are pretty cool, and then you can run a million miles with this. But these are just some cool little features I think you'll find are valuable. So I'm now logged into our application as Bing 77. Why have I done that? Well, let me show you. I'm gonna give some sample data, okay? So I've got Bing 77, outlook.com. I'm gonna do the same thing again here, like how could my week have been improved? Like so, AI advice, do more, lazy guy. And let's just say this one is 10% body fat. I'm just gonna load a random images for instance. Now I've uploaded this file manually. In reality, guys, you're not going to do that because everything happens automatically, but I've done this just to show you, get some sample dummy data so that we can see in our application. So let's come back to our website, our page here. Now, what do? We want the user to be able to see all of their history, right? Because like, you know, I started 4 weeks ago, but like, you know, what do I look like now compared to 4 weeks ago? I want to show that in a visually engaging way. So I click on plus. I'm going to click on this list with vertical cards section. Awesome, this is really cool. Now what I want it to do is to display the data that we've got in Airtable. So let's have a little think about that. And the first thing it asks us here is source. So I click on source, I click on Airtable, okay? Now select the base, it's going to be the AI PT. And again, different pages, different bases. This is how cool it is. And I click on client history, like so, all right? I'm going to mute this one down. Now, what's important here? What's important here is that you, let's say you're Bing 77, okay? I only want you to see the images and the data that are relevant for you. So if I'm a different client, I don't need to see someone else's, I need to see me. So to achieve that, what do? We need to add basically an if this then that statement, okay? So then we want to add this condition, okay? So say add condition saying if, okay, the email is the same as logged in users email, they can see it. So in other words, then only if the email is the same, they'll actually see the images, and that's how we get it to be slightly different and slightly bespoke. So that's cool. And then we've got the content, so we can remove loads of stuff that we're not interested in this, for example. So let's start basically making some cuts and chipping and chopping some stuff. So let's see, what is this text? So we can hide it and see what it does and what's relevant. The text we do want, the email we do want to show. The divider, I'm not so interested in the divider, so let's just hide that for a second. This text, let's get rid of that. This tags, I don't think we really need the tags, to be honest with you. Let's add a field. What we want to add is a text field, and that text field should be the body fat percentage, right? Awesome. And the label is your body fat with a fire emoji. How cool is that? Then add field, another text. Again, text, content is going to be AI advice, and the label will be AI advice. Oh, actually, we've got your PT advice. Or AIP. Actually, just call it your advice, yeah. I'm getting too into detail. Your advice with a little brain emoji. Okay, awesome. And you can see right there, your body fat, 5%, your advice, or it could be what, you can substitute what these different things are, but ultimately that's like absolutely fine. And I've got a little bit of random text here. It says single line short text. I'm not sure where that's coming from. It's probably this. Awesome, cool, that's gone. Now I want to get rid of this add record thing because we're going to add records by a title, so we don't really need that. Let's see if we can find that one. See more. Basically, that will suppress the numbers and the volumes that you get. So if you want to see more, you can click that. You can get rid of that and just show all of them. That's kind of more of a stylistic thing. So come down to source. That's all fine. Excellent. And it's going to be within content. So item fields, I'm happy with that. Let's go down. And then we've got filters. So come down to all categories, delete, filters. And again, you could use the filters if you wish, if you've got things you want to filter by, which I think is really cool, actually. It's like another little extra bell and whistle that we like. See more is fine. And then search bar, I'm just going to toggle that off because we don't need that. And finally, we just want to remove the add record section as well, which is going to be in actions, add record, and we're going to delete that for the purposes of this video. Cool, so we've got these two beautiful things here. This is going to show all of our clients' uploads and stuff visible for what we have there. So I'm going to click publish like so. Okay, and then what we're going to do is just test that actually only that individual can see it. Okay, so here I'm previewing this as Bing Bing 77, so I can see Bing Bing 77's physiques. But if I preview it as Matt Flowers, do we see the physiques? Well, we shouldn't do because Matt Flowers is not on there. And look, no results found. So there you go, very specific for that individual, which is excellent. So guys, taking a step back, you've basically built the entire page, the hard bit, the functionality bit. Now I think let's go back to our checklist and see what we need to look at next. So the scenario we need to finish, we've done the computer vision. We now want to do the AI graph application and how that's going to physically work. And then once we've done that, we're going to come back to Softr, we're going to get the payment subscription set up, and then finally basically our P's and Q's and make sure that everything's exactly where we want it to be. Now guys, this is basically the AI web application thing. So this is going to differ wildly based on the kind of web app that you want to develop. So just for your skills and knowledge, I guess I'll show you what it looks like and what this requires. So when you're building this with Claude or ChatGPT or model preference, essentially what you'll say is, look, I'm going to send you information in a specified format. So you can say to Claude, look, what format do you want the data in? So for example, if I show you the one that I built earlier, if I can find that, where did I build that? Okay, it's over here. Look, if I come down to client history, can you see the body fat percentage is 24.1, 23.4, 23.1, right? So check this out. If I come over, can you see this here is the format. So one denotes the day that you created it, and then it's the body fat percentage. And then this data gets sent back over to this. So based on the data or the thing you want to create, you're going to specify a way that you're going to actually get the data in the format, and then the webhook will be able to translate that into this particular design. If that sounds complicated, don't worry, I promise it'll make sense in just a second. So the way that we end up doing that, by the way, is we can control it and make sure that we have this webhook readiness module, which is basically ChatGPT saying, hey, take this data, put it in this format, and then it will present slightly differently for the user. Okay, so this is what we're going to build now. The webhooks, we're going to do a search on Airtable. So basically what happens here, I'm really zoomed in here, aren't I? Oh my goodness. I am insanely zoomed into this. This is absolutely crazy. We get the email from the webhook, which is great, which is jasonbourne@outlook.com. Why are we getting that email? Well, because in this application we're building, I've just said, hey, you want to check your body fat percentage tracker? Just give us your email. We could also give them a secret client ID or a secret password or something unique to the individual so that they're the only ones that can access it. But just for simplicity, I've said give their email. So the user experience is, look, I want to see my body fat percent tracker. They type in their email. That email then goes to the scenario. The webhook grabs it. Airtable then will search our base for that email, and we'll pull through their body fat percentage and the day that they submitted it. Once it's got that information, we aggregate it, and then we get ChatGPT to basically change the format of it, and then we send it straight back over to the application. And when it does that, that's how we end up with our really cool design. So let's build this one together, and hopefully that will make good sense for you. So we've got the email from the webhook, which is jasonbourne@outlook.com. Now we come over to Airtable. You click on search records. So this is going to search our database, and you'll use a variety of functions like searching and adding and that sort of stuff with your database. So the base I'm really looking for here is going to be AIPT, like so. Awesome. I'm going to let this guy up. What's the table? Table's going to be client history, and then we're going to enter in a formula, okay? Now the formula is basically going to say, look, I only want you to bring back records that match this particular email, okay? So look, I click on view. Don't need to worry about that. The information I'm interested in for this particular AI app really is the body fat percentage and also the created time. So when did they submit their image, and what was the body fat percentage they told us, so that I can actually display it in the graph. Again, these variables will be different for you or whatever application that you want. And then we've got formula. So look, I've said email equals client ID. Get rid of this, put this client ID. Now you see this, that is referring to, where is it, client history, this. So whatever you've called this field is what you need to replace that with, okay? So just make sure it's the same. If you call it something else, it's fine, and the formulas work exactly the same manner. So I've just said, look, email, when the email equals this, bring back those particular things. Now I want you to do one other thing as well. I'm gonna come down and click on show advanced settings. Let's come up and have a look. We're gonna sort field. Yeah, so basically I wanted to do it in chronological order. So I just got created time ascending. So it basically means it will show me them as they came out. So I want the earliest first going down to the latest, and then we're going to click OK. And that is pretty good news. So we're going to run this scenario once, as for instance. So click on run once. Let's go over to our scenario. Let's just preview this page. Now, if I check what's the email we've got Bing 77. Okay, cool. So we're previewing the page. We've got it here. I'm going to come down and I'm going to check body fat percentage tracker, Bing 77. Show me the magic. That has sent some stuff over. It's landed here. The webhook's got it, and it's pulled the records. Now look, guys, check this out. It's pulled down both records for Bing 77, the 5% and also for 10%, which is exactly what we've got here. So this is how it's going to pull down something unique for every single one of your clients. But the problem is we can't have several different outputs. We need to aggregate these together, because if you don't, the next module you have is just going to do, okay, here's record 1, do your automation. Here's record 2, do your automation. And what we want it to do is take all the data together and just give it to the next module, which in our case is going to be ChatGPT. So in order to do that, as you can see in this one here, we've got an array aggregator where basically we just select the data that we want, pick it, and then it'll do a beautiful job of just giving us one really single output. So look, we come here, we click here, we can go for array aggregator. The source module is simply the Airtable that we just chose, and just pick the fields that you want to use. Again, it'll be different for everybody. I want created time, and I want body fat, and then I'm going to select OK. Awesome. Now we're going to click finally our readiness module. Now this again will depend based on the thing that you're doing. Let's just do ChatGPT. Click on create a completion. Awesome. By the way, guys, if you live in Germany, we're heading out to Germany in a couple weeks' time for an AI automations meetup. It would be really, really cool to see you there. So if you are about in Germany, man, I think we're going to Frankfurt, which I've never been before, so I'm excited. If you know anything about Frankfurt, any suggestions, you gotta let me know. Help a brother out down below. Let me know the details. So select user, message content. I'm just gonna paste this in. Now, just to briefly explain what this prompt is, and I'll change this in a second, okay? You will be given a series of inputs, and you must output in a specified format. Why have I specified that? Because I want to give it to the webhook to then appear on the page, okay? The day, this is gonna be what that is. The day, the body fat, date, body fat, blah, blah, blah. Day 1, this is the very first day at which the user started submission. So if you see submission 3 days later, that would be day 4. So this is just some specific logic that I'm giving it, saying, look, like if I submitted on April the 7th, okay, then I submit on April the 20th, April the 7th, in other words, the first day of my submission is day 1, April 20th is day 13. That's how it works. This is just my goofy, silly examples. And then I just say your outputs must match the formula. How do you know what that formula is? That's when you're having a chat with Claude, and you say something like, hey, what input format would you like for this application? Boom. And I'll tell you, and then you just specify it in to make sure it's all connected and works fine. And we can do other things like make it more robust and like kind of like error tracking things, but I just want to keep this simple just for the purposes of this, okay? Now I'm going to click, now none of this stuff exists yet per se, does it? Which is fine. I'm going to click OK. Now look, I'm going to unlink these for a moment and I'm going to run this scenario. That's fine, run this one anyway. Let's go back now and submit the same body fat percentage tracker again. Show me the magic. I come back over, it's come through, and do we see this as one? Look at this, guys. Output is an array. Look, created time, body fat percentage. How cool is that? Now we've got it as an array, and now it's in an array. I can come back over here like so, and I can start to decide what I would like. So look, I'm gonna come down. There we go. Now date and body fat. Cool. So the date is, let's come down here to array, created time, and then body fat is gonna be this one. Because it's an array, just put a number 1 and you're done. And then we go again. Same thing, create the date. 2, oops, excuse me. Oh my goodness. It is not happy with that, is it? That's 1, body fat. That's 2, excuse me. And you basically, guys, are just gonna repeat this exact same process for as many records. Now, if you're trying to make this super robust, that can go on forever, feel free just to add 100 or 300 or how many you think is reasonable for the particular thing that you're doing. This basically says this is the third array, the fourth array, the fifth array, blah, blah, blah. So all the different stuff that you get, it will basically just appear here for you. Body fat 1.0. I'm just doing 4 just for the sake of it, but you don't really need to do 4. We've only got 2 examples, but I'm just doing 4 for the sake of it. Cool, come back up and let's just change the date. So we get that one as well. In fact, I'm just going to do 2 because I've got 2 pieces of data, but you sort of get the idea, okay? Then I click, okay, awesome. And I'm going to call this one webhook readiness. It's good to name these just as a best practice so that, you know, when you look back, it's like really easy at a glance what that looks like. Webhook readiness, incredible. Then click a new module. And then here, guys, I'm basically going to say webhook. Webhook response. So you basically sandwich your scenarios as webhooks, and basically this is what comes in, data gets done, then this is what data do you want to send back over to the automation. So for this, it's just simply going to be the output of the webhook readiness, and I click OK. I'm going to Command S to save this, and then I'm going to click run once, or you can click the save button down here. I come back over. Now one final time, I'm just going to leave this page open, and you're going to see the magic, okay? Boom, confetti, bam. Why has it done that? It goes from 5% to 10%. We've only got 2 days worth of data, so it's absolutely fine that it's worked that way. If we had multiple days of data, it'd be very different, but it's worked perfectly fine, and we can remove it, and we can predict the next 7 days. And there we go, we've got 7 days of prediction, so we look at what that would look like. Let's predict another 7 days. It gives us predicted body fat percentage, and you can make this as fancy or as interested as you like. And you've basically now designed both of the make scenarios, both the really cool automation scenarios, guys. So well done for following along with that. You are smashing it. The AI graph application done. Now what we need to do is visibility, payments, groups, and the final dotting our I's and crossing our T's. So let's head back over. So look at this, guys. What do I like? What do I not like? Well, first of all, I don't like this stuff on the left-hand side. I don't think it looks nice like that. So we need to change this, and I'm going to show you some really basic stuff that we can do. So to edit any of this stuff, we must go to the homepage. So we're going to go back over to the homepage. Awesome, and we've got these different links here that we can do, okay? So if I click on this link, what this would enable us to do, okay, is basically this is a little link drop down. So you see link 2? I'm just gonna say, hey, body fat, a little fire emoji, boom. And then I can say, add action. So in other words, once they click that, what happens? We want it to open page, or it could be scroll down to a certain page, and then we select the page, which is body fat, which is awesome. I love that, okay? Then we can click publish to update the changes. Let's create a new page, for example, that is just about us, because maybe we want to explain how it works. So that one says about. Well, let's give it a little wave actually, which is a cool little wave emoji. This is what we're about. We click save. Don't worry about the design on this. Let's just add a random static block, like, I don't know, hero feature, put this one in. This is just for a sake, like, I don't know, let's come down here, say, hey, about AI PT. A little wave. Cool, we like it. That's very cool. Decent. And then I'm going to come back over to our homepage. And then instead of this drop-down link, what we could do is, again, what that would do is you click on it and it's like, okay, let's say you wanted to SEO optimize this or whatever. You can have link 1, which would be like, I don't know, it could be articles, and it could then be like losing weight or building muscle, and you could have all these different things that they could go to. So that would be what the links would look like. But for the purpose of this, guys, I'm just going to get rid of the multiple links. And let's just add a link here. Let's call this one about, just to give a little color and flair to the website a little bit. Come down, add action, and we can add sublinks there if we want to go and do some different things. Come down, about. Awesome, cool, looking good already, sweet. Now what do we want to do? Let's go on to styles. Is what we're looking for. Obviously we can like feature it and move it around, all this sort of stuff, which is quite sick. Then crucially, guys, once we clicked on this, let's scroll to the bottom and get this to be horizontal instead of the top. Fixed header. No, I like the fact that it will roll down with us. I think that'd be quite decent, actually. That's decent. And then visibility, awesome. Now, let's see what we want to do. Now, when we've done that, we want to come over to, let's have a look. Again, you can just obviously mess around with these pages and update them and do whatever you want to, and you kind of get the idea of that. I showed you before how you could do the visibility. So this is the home page. So I don't like the look of this. So what we're going to do is delete it, quite frankly. Yeah, let's just get rid of that. That's fine. Let's delete this as well. I don't think this is relevant. Awesome. All right, sweet. Come here, add a block. Let's add a come up to static blocks. Let's go down for a feature. What have we got? Feature with link. Okay, cool. And we could say, like, if it's our homepage, what do we want to say? Just say, hey, welcome to your AI PT. All right, sweet. And then various different information. Actually, we're going to keep that in just so it shows you what's it. We can do the images, alt text, all that beautiful stuff. Guys, at this point, the way that this is going to work is we have logged in users and we have paying users, okay? So you could create, like, let's say you have 100 people and you maybe have a free part of your website, but then there's like an upgrade bit. So what I would want to do here is have a drive. Now, obviously design this in a way that's like they get value, they get a sense of what it's like, and then they can upgrade to paid. But what we'd want to do here is create a payment option for them. So we're going to add block, okay? Let's come down, and then what we can do is say, like, I want a Stripe form. So we need to now integrate the ability to collect payments, and then we're going to change who can see what. Remember, if you ever want to change the visibility, if you click on it, top right visibility, who can see logged in users, not logged in users, etc. So to do that, I'm going to come over to settings. I'm going to go over to, I believe it is integrations, like so. I'm going to come down, head over to Stripe checkout, and then it's going to ask for two things. It's going to ask for a publishable key and also a secret key. So let me bring up Stripe to do this. This is a fake one that I made earlier, but I'll create another one just for the purposes of this. So come down, let's create a new account. Let's call this one AI PT with a strong emoji, and we click create. That's cool. So this will be a test example for us. Let's see if we've got the AI PT. Is this gonna open up for us? Let's have a look. It is dashboard.stripe. It's doing this magic in the background, and then we can start integrating this together. Let me know if you'd use the AI PT, by the way. I feel like with the right polishing of it, obviously I just wanted to give you a concept and idea to get started with, but I feel with the right polishing and aspects to it, it could be interesting to get, like, you know, AI analysis of your journey and metrics. And even if you could sell that as a SaaS to like PTs, actually, I think that'd be really interesting. So the first thing to do, guys, is create a product. Go to product catalog. We will click on this add product at the top right here. We'll call this one the AI, oh my goodness, AI PT. With a little emoji to that as well, so we get some nice pieces. Cool. Just say, hey, get monthly, get weekly analysis of your body type and suggestions to improve. Obviously, create as many or as few of these as you want, but this is just as an example. Image, we could upload an image if you want to. We'll just do that so it looks decent. I've uploaded the AI PT logo. Recurring payment. This is just going to be, let's just say it's something like £19. Something like that. Awesome. Billing period monthly, and then we will add the product. Awesome. So that's loading up, and now we've got our AI PT. You can do it monthly, yearly. Stripe also enables quarterly billing as well. There's lots of really cool options. You can do free trials. You can get really cool with it. Like, dude, try it out for 2 weeks. It's free, and then we'll upgrade to something paid. So come back over to home. Now we've got these two things here. So we're going to copy the publishable key and come back over to our page here. So this is the publishable key. Then come back over here, secret key. Let's reveal the secret key, the not so secret key anymore key. Come back over, paste that in, sweet. And then we click on save. That's cool. We've now integrated Stripe. That's pretty decent, right? What do? We come here. We can add a block. Now we can do multiple Stripe blocks actually, which is what I'm going to suggest we do here. So let's have a look. It's not form. It is. Let me just find out whether can I search Stripe. Okay, Stripe. We want the Stripe checkout form, I think. Cool. And then we come down, we're going to select the product, which is the AI PT. And again, you can do different things on different prices. Price is going to be £19 monthly. AI PT. Let's go. Awesome. This is pretty sweet. And placeholder, so just upload our image. Now, images there. It's just like adding the image just adds such a like kind of edge to it, which I love that. And obviously we can add text above and below, but you kind of get the idea of that, right? Which is really sweet. Full name, coupon, loads of information about that. We like it. And then we publish it like so. The other thing that we could do, guys, if you want to, is just come into pages, add new page. Let's just call this one upgrade, right? Diamond, like so. Click save. And then what we could do here, guys, is obviously have like a hero block, but then we could add like the Stripe module on an upgrade page, like so. If you want a video on how I would like set this up, like literally page by page, step by step, let me know down below, and I can do some content on that. If that would be of any value to you, let me know that. And again, we got the Stripe thing here. Let's just come down and quickly just like pick our product. Again, we can do so much with this. It's absolutely ridiculous. The customizability of this is insane. Like, and I'm not joking when I say like, you pretty much are replacing full-time coders with this stuff. It's absolutely insane. So we need to go find the product that we had. So let's come to product. All the products that are connected with that Stripe account will appear here for you to put whatever you want. So AIPT, awesome, brilliant. Let's come back then to the homepage. And what I'm gonna finally do is just add this onto the header for us. So let's come down, let's add one final thing. And this one's gonna be upgrade with a diamond emoji. Add action and open page, which is going to be the upgrade page. Incredible. And then we hit publish. Cool. I love it. All right, sweet. Now what we can do, let's, as if for instance, view this as one of our customers and let's actually purchase the product so we can see that, okay? So we're gonna go on preview and then we're gonna use our Jason Bourne one, which is gonna be Ace. All right, awesome. So let's click on upgrade. Or we come back actually, just go back to the homepage, come down, and let's say we want to go, right? So I'm doing this as Matt Flowers. Let's just go for Bing 77. What I really like about this is it's automatically populated the email. And the reason why that's great is because we can use the same email in Stripe to validate that they're still paying. Because what we need to do now is basically we can lock off those sections of the website available only to paying subscribers. But what if they cancel? Well, we need a way to see that they exist. I'm going to show you a really simple way I found just to make sure that at all times, the people that can access your APIs are the ones that are actually paying your subscription. So we need to give it a load of fake stuff. Give it a big load of fake numbers. Oh my gosh, 0424. Isn't it wild? We're now in the last part of 24. Loads of random numbers, blah, blah, blah. Okay, subscribe now. Is this coming up? Wait for a second. Now, as soon as this is done, I'm going to head over to Stripe and just check that's happened. That's done. Cool, so if I head over to Stripe, I should see the new customer. Let me refresh the dashboard and have a look. And we do, 1818. So we've got our first sale. Congrats us, eh? Isn't that really cool? Decent. So then what we can do now is we're gonna come back over to our application, come back over to users. Let's have a quick look. Users, okay, this is cool. Then click on user groups. And we can create a new group. In other words, what I'm saying here is, let's just say we call this paid subscribers or paying customers. So we can now restrict access based on those people who are actually paying for us already, okay? So look, this is one option you can do. You don't need to do this, but I'll just show you so it's there if you want to have it. So add users based on conditions. Let's add the condition. So then the condition is if subscription is any of AP, and you can select the ones that they want. So basically, if they have that subscription, they get access to X. Then we click save. Now that's cool because if we go to our pages and let's just say I'm on the Bodyfat page and I want to limit the visibility of this, I can do something called like click on the block. I don't know, this block here, and I could say, look, visibility, all users. No, it's not. It's logged in users, but logged in users who are also paid subscribers. So if you're not a paid subscriber, they won't physically see it. But let me just show you something really, really cool now, because the API call we've got going on with this, right, the body fat percentage tracker, what we can actually do is, let me just show you what the automation looks like, okay? So I've got this Stripe thing. So check this out. What I can do is unlink these. I can bring the Stripe module in. And by the way, it's super easy to connect Stripe. You can do like an OAuth or just get like one simple API key. But what I'm going to do is search customers for that thing. So let me just copy this guy and bring it over to our automation here and paste them in. Awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to say, look, if they do a request, if they're not a paying subscriber, do not basically use the request, deny the request. So basically only ever going to use API credits for people that are physically paying you money. It's like the simplest, easiest way to possibly validate it. So I come here, for example, what I want to happen is I need to add a router. So let's have a look. So bring out Stripe. We need to add in a beautiful router, flow control, like so. Let's add a router, put that in there. Oops, my goodness. Oh my goodness, let's bring that over here, connect. And then we're gonna add this one up. All right, cool. So scenario one is gonna be continue your journey as normal over here. Let me just realign these so it's cool. And then, actually no, we don't want that. We need to get rid of this guy. There we go, that's a little bit better, that's a little bit better. Auto align, cool, and then this one's just gonna be a webhook, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Cool, so search customers. We need to now create a new Stripe API key connection. So for that, we're gonna click on add. Connection type is going to be Stripe API key, and then it's looking for a key. So how do we get the key? Well, we're gonna come back over now to Stripe, click on developers at the top, click on API keys. Now, what is it looking for? It's looking for a restricted key. So look, I come back over to the scenario, okay? It's looking for restricted API key, right? So how do I get that? I click down here for create restricted key. Now, obviously look through these and only give it the permissions that you're comfortable with. It does need some writing permissions to do this, because when I used just basically only read, it just said like, look, sorry, like I need to write some of this stuff. So just for simplicity, I'm just clicking write on everything. Read, write, yeah, write and read, cool, beautiful. Let's just get these ones over here. Phenomenal. Okay, that's cool. We probably signed our life away there, but it'll be okay. And then we click on correct the key. The key name is required, the AI PT. Awesome, come down and create key. Sweet, and then we've got reveal the test key. Let's, let's copy that, for example, and then we're gonna come back over to our scenario, which is over here. Type the key in like so, click save. Give us a second, and it has, almost by magic, appeared. Okay, we love that, that's incredible. So, get rid of this email, click OK. Now, for the time being, I'm just gonna unlink these, okay? And I'm just gonna run this once, right? Well, I'm gonna come back over to our scenario that we're viewing. So let's come over to Bodyfat. Now we have one paying customer, don't we, right? So I'm gonna give it the example of the paying customer that we had, which is Bing Bing 77, okay? So check this out, Bing Bing 77, show me the magic. I come over and look guys, it's found Bing Bing 77. Apologies guys, basically one thing you need to do guys is add the email in. That's completely my mistake. So like I've got Bing Bing 76 now, I click OK. Let me run this again twice just to show you. Come back over to, where are we now? Bing Bing 76, show the magic. I come over to Stripe, false, 0 bundles. I go back, I change it to Bing Bing 77 because he's the only guy that's bought a subscription so far. Show me the magic. Oh, I need to actually physically run it. Wait for new data, come back over, show me the magic, come back over, and there you go. Bing Bing 77 has appeared. So what we can now say is, look, Stripe will check for us. Is this a paying subscriber or not, or whatever criteria you're comfortable with, free trial, whatever you want. And if they can find the user that is actually still paying, they proceed to get the data and the wonderful information. And if they don't, we're going to send a webhook back that basically says, sorry, you know, I really apologize, it's not linked to an active subscription, we can't help you. So then basically your API credits only ever go to people who are actually paying you money. So then we basically finish this by clicking on this webhook guy, we'll do a 401, and then we'll just give it a body that says, hey, oh my goodness. Come over here, hey, this is not linked to a paying subscriber. You know, this email isn't linked, or whatever messaging that you want to give. Again, that's one way you could do it. Other way you could do it is just restrict the sections. There's so much configurability that sits within Softr. I hope you found that video helpful, guys. I just say remember that like success happens in small increments over a very long period of time. So if you start your SaaS business and it hasn't taken off or conquered the world in a couple of days, that's completely normal. It's the same with everybody else. But I hope you find this video useful, guys. And with all that in mind, go crush it.